Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery, and I just realized I have a little bit of a mess behind me here. My stuff for sublimation is taking over. So, hello. It's been a rough day. My eyes, a little puffy, a little red. It's been a rough time. If you don't know what's going on, we're going to fill you in a little bit today. But welcome. Thank you for being here. I hope that everyone had a good Christmas if you celebrate. Ours, as many of you may already know, was we celebrated on Christmas Eve, which was very nice, until about 1 in the morning. And then our Christmas turned out not so nice. So we'll get into that. Let me say hi to people who are here. I don't want to start this off too sad or too, crazy. We're keeping high spirits. We're trying to. We have a lot of thinking to do, a lot of things that we have to work out. But anyway, most of you probably already know. But we're going to get to that. If you are watching us on Instagram, thank you for being here. I just want to say up front, I forgot my computer at home. I don't know if Andrew is tuning in. He's not feeling well. We're all not doing great right now. But he had a massive headache and some nausea today, probably a migraine. And so I don't know if he's tuning in, but if you're on Instagram, I cannot see comments from Instagram. So I apologize. I had the setup over, I had to start everything over on my other computer across the room, and it's not easily moved. So sorry about that. I do apologize if you're out there on Instagram. We are trying to include Instagram more in our streaming now that we're able to. And normally I have my laptop or another device here to watch it on, and it's been crazy here. So I forgot that today. So thank you for being here. If you're out there, we appreciate you. I just can't see your comments today. Hopefully if Andrew's watching or if he's able to watch, he can clue me in on what some people are saying in the comments. Hello, Michelle. It's so good to see you here. I hope you and your family are feeling better. It sounds like you are. Says, hope you and your... Hello, Andrew, William, fur babies. Hope your baby is doing better than I am. Barnaby is doing well. I will say that right off the bat. This is not about Barnaby. Thank goodness. That's our Christmas miracle. Barnaby is doing well. He finished up his antibiotics, and we are hoping that he settles down a little more. He's still getting a little bit congested when he rests and when he sleeps a little more than usual. But today he has seemed pretty good. He's running around the yard, going out with me, taking walks, and he's not coughing when he goes out, and he's having a much better time. I don't hear the raspy breathing. He's purring again. So that is a good thing, and that is good. We are very thankful for that. I don't think I could have dealt with something happening. I told my mom, I said, this would have been a nervous breakdown if something were to happen to him, or would have happened to him. So he is doing better. Thank you all for the good energy. We're asking you for good energy every other day, because something just keeps happening all the time. Hello, Marianne. Thank you for being here with us. Let's see, Michelle and Marianne are jumping back and forth. Suzanne is here. Our neighbor Susan is here. Norma is here. Harry is here. Thank you all for being here. Norma says, mine was good. Spent the day with friends. Very relaxing. That's good. Michelle says, we did nothing, ordered out. Sometimes that's the best, right? Sometimes that's the best. Cheryl's here. Says, hi, everyone. Big hug to you, William. Thank you. Michelle says it was mellow. Everyone did their own thing. It was perfect. That's nice. Norma is with us. We have Facebook user. I can't see who you are, but thank you for being here with us. Anne is here with us as well. Thank you, Anne. Barbara is here. Thank you, Barbara, for joining us. Suzanne says, yeah. Heart, 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 Barnaby. Yes. Marion says, life does seem to be really well. Yeah. Yeah. Says heart to Barnaby too. Yes. So For those of you who do not follow me personally, or Andrew, and you may not know what is happening, we left my brother's on Christmas Eve. I'm going to try not to break down again because this is, it's strangely emotional. Not only emotional, but it's worrisome. So when we were leaving my brother's on Christmas Eve, we left around 10 or 10:30, and going to my brother's it's where my grandparents lived, and he lives there now, and it's very near my other job. Their land actually borders the land of the family who owns my other business that I work at. And so we drove by, and everything looked good. Kind of, wished a Merry Christmas to the building, and kept on going. At about 1 or 1:30 in the morning, I think it was, my mom called me and told me that the building was on fire. So of course I was like, what is going on? I'm like, hopefully it's a small fire. Hopefully they got it put out. It was not a small fire. That building started out, my original boss who built that business, his father had a farm, and that building was originally a chicken coop. And it actually had grooves still in one of the warehouses where there was a walkway between the chicken coops. And I don't know if they rolled a cart through there to collect eggs. There were specific grooves in the floor. And my uncle used to work there as a kid, as a boy, collecting eggs and taking care of the chickens. And so the building over the years had been added onto. The front showroom was constructed to look like an old auto showroom in England. And it had a brick facade and lots of windows, and it was made to look like the old-fashioned, and that's the way my boss wanted it. It wanted it to look like the old-fashioned English auto dealerships. So that part of the building, because it's mostly tile and brick, from what I understand, is left standing. The rest of the building, all of the parts bins generally were made out of wood. Most of the walls and ceilings were wood. In the attic, the paperwork for possible audits was stored going back a long time. And you're only supposed to go back, 7 years, but there were actually times where they had to go back further in order to have records for the all that. So they kept records, as many records as possible. Of course, all of those records were paper. So the building, we don't know why. We don't know where the fire started. I don't know. There's a fire marshal going to come in and check everything out. I don't know if they will be able to tell. It was an old building, but nothing much changed in that building over the course of the last at least 10 years. So I don't really understand what could have happened, or whether it was mice in the wall, chewing on something, or something just suddenly overloaded. We don't know. But the entire building, 5 warehouses full of parts, mostly metal parts, so probably now fused together or melted down parts in wooden bins, has completely burned up. It's emotional for me, because that place has been with me my entire life. My aunt was like their 3rd employee. She was there for over 40 years. My mom worked there for close to about that time as well. And I grew up if I mean, many of you know my dad had issues with alcohol and drugs. I talk about that often, or at least openly. I try not to talk about it too often. But my mom worked night shift, and there were some nights that we spent the night out there. We'd build, beds out of the rolly chairs. We'd put two rolling chairs together and a pillow and a blanket. And I was always a night person anyway, so not very often, I think, did we use that. But my mom and my brother and I would sometimes have to be out there together while she worked, doing backups and things that they couldn't do during the daytime hours. And she packed catalogs, and we'd play, Go Fish and Old Maid and things like that. And my brother worked there, I worked there, my mom worked there, my dad worked there, my aunt worked there. I got many of my high school friends employed there as their first jobs. They were always willing to give kids a chance. We could start working here in Pennsylvania as early as 14, limited hours, and they were not hesitant to give younger kids a chance at, picking up work. And some of my friends, like us, did not have a lot of money. So it was kind of one of those things that, it was some of the employees that I still work with, worked with. I don't know how things are going to wash out, but some of the employees that I work with still have been there my entire life. I remember, they would have Halloween parties there. Every year they used to throw a huge party called the Summer Party for their customers. And it was a huge car show and a 3-day event with drag racing and autocrossing and a concours d'elegance car show, and sometimes games that we would build. And like every year had a theme. Sometimes it was a fair, sometimes it was a safari. But every year had a theme. There was usually a drive-in movie. There was a live band. We ate under tents. There were big tents erected, and it was catered, and it was a catered event outdoors. And, that was a lot of work once I started working there. But as a kid, we used to run around, and it was such a fun time. But yeah, I wrote a little bit about it because you just always thought it would be there. It was something that, it was an old building, but it had withstood so much, multiple roofs being put on, and there were always leaks here and there. And, but, each warehouse had a different smell. And I knew, like, you could have blindfolded me and I could have told you which warehouse you put me in just by the smell of different parts, different warehouses and their use. And Marianne says, seems like a big part of your life. Yes, it was a huge part of my life. It was a family, and it's a hard thing to let go of, because ultimately we have to let go of it now. I don't know exactly what is planned and what the family is planning to do going forward. I don't think they want to give up. I don't know what the challenges are going to be huge, trying to continue the business going forward. The business had a lot of very rare and very original parts stored. Each bin usually had, inside of each bin with the new parts or the remanufactured parts that they would make, also had an original, and they called it a sell and die part, and they had a big sticker with crossbones that said sell and die. And it was a marker to the pickers never to ship that part out to a customer, because that part was the original. So if we had to remanufacture anything, or you needed the original spec to something, or if something was being remade and you didn't think it was quite right from another vendor, you could source the original from the bin. And so all of those are gone. it is a huge loss, just emotionally to my family. It is also a loss because it is a significant loss in our income right now, in a year that we've already had pretty much the worst year we've had in our store history. So we are talking about a lot of different things, and I'm not going to get into all those on this live, but it's been a rough time. As you know, Andrew's had issues with his family and issues with his father, having cancer right now, and could leave us at any moment. We don't know how quickly that will happen. I've had health problems with my heart recently, and we've had, like I said, the worst year we've had in a long time. And now something that we thought we could rely on that was just always there. It's been there my entire life. And now that's burned to the ground and gone. So it's been emotional. It's been not only emotional, but taxing on my brain. And I've been breaking down. That's why my eyes are a little puffy and a little red. And I'm trying to hold on. I've been, of course, I was wearing this earlier. This is one of our sweatshirts that was made for that business. And we've got lots of those. But we'll see. We will see what happens and what happens going forward. It was an easy job for me because it was mostly remote work, and I could make my own hours. So I often worked between about 9 p.m. and 2 in the morning for that job, sometimes later, sometimes, earlier. It just depended on the day. But I didn't have hard and fast deadlines to a lot of things. I did. We would put out an email almost every week, but how I got to that deadline didn't matter. So it was a really good thing, and it worked for all of us involved. Whether I'm going to have to get another job, that pretty much paid for many of our house bills, while the store covered itself and the cottage here and the building in Johnstown. And so that's a rough loss, and it's going to be a hard thing to replace. But we're looking at options. Some people have written us. I've started talking to people about different things and things that they know are available, and we're looking into that. Finding another job is not going to be an easy thing that fits into our already busy schedule, because I do run the store. I'm there generally 5 to 6 days a week. I was at my other job 1 day a week. I had to go in. Won't be doing that for quite a while, most likely. But yeah, it will be hard to replace that work-wise and dollar-wise, but we shall see what happens. We are going to start going much harder, maybe. I don't know how we can, but we're gearing up to try to do as much as we can here to put more products out. And so with all this going on, as we always ask you, please, 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 more than ever, share our posts on our Facebook page or on Instagram with your friends, tag people, anything you can do to help us get the word out that we exist. We have put a hold on buying a lot of new inventory. Andrew mentioned that in a post. We're just not going to have a lot of money for new. That's not to say we won't bring things in, but that's mostly regarding Tucson. We're most likely going to have to cancel our Tucson trip unless something changes in the very near future. And the Tucson buying is not going to be the same. So that is something that we just want to prepare you all for, because we know that you look forward to that, and so do we. But we hope you'll still take a look at the things we do have. We have done a number of buyouts over the last few months that we still have not shown you everything. I mean, we have walls of stuff that we haven't shown you yet. So while some of it is vintage and, antique, and it's not the new maybe, we do hope that, you let people know, let your friends know. We hope you still tune in and watch and like the things we have for you. Today, I've put together about 9. I tried to get 10, but I actually had 8, and then the 9th one came together for me like out of nowhere. So I have 9 new kits. I'm going to show you all first, and I hope you like them. I like them. It's not often that I put kits together, but Andrew was not having a great day today, so I said I'll go in and try, and we'll see if people like my kits. I hope you do. These are jewelry making inspiration kits is what we call them. So they are not kits to make any specific thing. If you don't watch us often, you may not know. We make a lot of kits. We call them inspiration kits. They are coordinated in some way, whether it's color or material. These are kind of more color-ish, but they're kind of like my kind of colors together. So I hope y'all like them. Cheryl says 9 is a good number. Lucky number, right? Hopefully. I do not have a lot of these kits. I didn't want to raid all of Andrew's stock and things like that. So I took things that I had a feeling were safe to use, things that we only had enough of maybe to make a few kits. So I knew he wasn't going to listen to, there's Andrew. I knew he wasn't going to use them for any other things right away if there were just a few strands. So I hope you like these. Oh, hi, Denise. Says, it's been a while since I've been on. How will I purchase these? That's a good question. I'm put the banner up here. So each one has a lot number. They're NK lots for new kits. There's NK1 through NK9. And all you do to claim them is you send us an email with NK and whatever number it is. So for example, NK1 in the subject line, send it to info@allegorygallery.com. That's up above. And each email you send, please send a new email for everything that you would like. Don't reply to your own email. Some people reply to their own email so they don't have to type in our address again, but that causes congestion and troubles. So please just send a new email every time. And for example, like I said, NK1, put it in the subject line, hit send. It's first come, first serve. Like I said, these are super limited kits. I got up here to make what I can because Andrew's not feeling great. Andrew said, Tallulah and I are resting and listening to you. Good. Please check Instagram, Andrew. I don't know if you heard me at the beginning. I can't see the Instagram comments because it's the computer. I forgot my laptop. It's the computer across the room. But we are streaming on Instagram, so I appreciate any of you out there. If you're commenting on Instagram, I can't see it. So maybe Andrew can check Instagram and take a look once in a while just to make sure. So Denise, that's how you purchase. Just send us an email for anyone you want. I tried to price these really well. I think they're good prices. Probably really good prices in some cases. But I wanted to, it's better to have some money coming in than try to overprice these or price them too high. I wanted everyone to have a chance at grabbing some of these if you want them, as we always do. All right. I also have some other things I'm going to show you. I'll show you those at the end. They're pretty cute, and I hope you're going to like them. We had a few requests for it over the years, and anyway, we'll show you. All right. So here we go. Let's. Do I have anything else to say? Oh, I did want to mention, which will tie into the things at the end. We are having our design competition, which in amongst everything that's going on, we're running a design competition. So I hope people take part in it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what everyone makes. It's in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenges group on Facebook. So if you search that, Allegory Gallery Design Challenges, you can join that group. It is a closed group, I think, or is that the open group? That's the open group. So you can see people in the group, but we'll hope in order to take part, please join the group. The design competition has 2 parts, and you can do either of the 2, or you can do both. The only thing you must use is an Allegory Gallery wooden pendant of some sort. And those pendants are available on the website. Most of them are on sale right now. We just ask that you use one of those to create a 3-piece jewelry set. The set can be matching or coordinating. And you have to use 1 wooden pendant per set. If you want to use a wooden pendant in each of the 3 pieces in that set, you can, but you only really have to use it in one. We're asking you, do not reveal your set until January 26th, I believe it is. We're going to put an album in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenges group, and we will ask you to reveal your designs then. There's 2 parts to this. The first one is do what I just said and you're done. It will be a popular vote, and anyone in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenges group can vote for your piece, whether they've made something or not. So the only thing is you can't vote for your own. No voting for your own. You have to share the love. You have to vote for someone else. So the more friends you get to join the group, the better your chances are at winning, obviously. So please invite people to the Allegory Gallery Design Challenges group if you know they like jewelry making and they're nice people. We only want good, nice people in the group. We've got a really nice group of people there. So please feel free to invite people there. We are doing this huge competition. We want everyone to take part. You have up until the 26th, January 26th, to make your pieces. And Andrew just said, even though things have been extremely hard and the future is uncertain, we have tried to remain positive and productive. Yes, we still have a calendar of things we are trying to do. We're trying to even add more into that calendar so that we can make up some of what we've lost or will be losing. And, you know, I'm trying not to, you know, bring everybody down. So I am trying to stay composed as much as possible. So anyway, design competition. If you want to make a 3-piece set or 6 3-piece sets, there's no limit to the amount you can make, other than each 3-piece set you make must have a different Allegory Gallery wooden pendant. You can't use the same pendant and take pictures and pop it, you know, from one set to the next, take a picture to the next, take a picture. No doing that. You can embellish the wooden pendants in any way that you want. You can change them up. You can leave them as they are. And the popular vote will determine, I think we've said the top 5. There's going to be 5 people who can win that. And they're going to win some gift cards and some kits. And then there is what we call the curveball part of the competition. So from technically now until the 26th, we are going to post every once in a while a curveball in the Design Challenges group. And that curveball is for those of you who want to take part in that part of the competition. And that part will ultimately be judged by us here at Allegory Gallery. And so we might say, add chain to your design. That's curveball number 1, for example. Or curveball number 2 might be, you know, use a vintage plastic piece in your design. So the more curveballs that you use and the better that you implement them into your design will be part of the voting and how we decide who wins. The overall look of the design will also be taken into consideration, of course. So that still has to be a 3-piece set, still has to use a wooden pendant, at least one in that set. But you will be incorporating all these curveballs. All right, so in that, All of this is on our blog, by the way. So if you've missed any of this or you have questions, we have a blog post with some commonly asked questions there as well. And if you have any further questions on the competition, please feel free to email us up above. All right. Andrew says, I think everyone is still in shock. 1 minute something seems so permanent and the next you're unemployed. Yes. Yes. I don't know if Andrew is behind on things on his viewing. Maybe that's why the comments are. But yes. Yeah, I don't have my other job anymore, or at least won't probably. I'm still going to be doing some things. We still have to put out, the owner's probably going to put out a notice to customers and all that. So there will still be things I will be doing. But probably, definitely, I mean, there's no shipping of parts, obviously. So there can't be any orders. There can't be any sales. There can't. And that's mainly what I did, is create sell flyers, work with social media regarding the sales and all that. So yeah. Hello, Jacqueline. Thank you for tuning in. Brooke is here with us. Hello, Brooke. Thank you for tuning in. All right. So that's the design competition for the new year. Like I said, you can give sneak peeks of your designs. Like you can take a close-up or something, or we would love that. We would love to see that. Like little close-ups, or, you know, kind of sneak peeks of the design, you know, like how if you've ever seen new car reveals, they have the car under the blankets or under the, you know, cover sometimes, or things like that. They might show you a fender or something like that. So we would love to see that, but please do not reveal your entire design or anything that would give too much of a look to it until the 26th, when we put the album out. And we will give you further instructions on how you can, and what we will be asking for the photos and all of that as we get closer to that date. There's no use telling everyone now, because everyone will either forget or do it early, and we don't want any of that. All right, so I'm going to take a drink because I'm very thirsty. I've been dehydrating because I've been crying, and I've been not taking care of myself as well as I should be the last few days. Okay, so Susie says, you're doing great. Love both you and Andrew. Thank you, Susie. We appreciate that. So yeah, please share everything. Invite your friends to the Design Challenge group. Invite your friends to the competition. Send them over to the website to grab some wooden pendants. Yeah, we appreciate it. And we're definitely going to need all of your support, even more than normal, over the next few weeks, months. We'll see how long things last until we either find a solution or adjust properly. It's just so, everything that happened was so fast, and so, I mean, literally there were 15 fire companies that it took to put out the fire. 15 fire companies. And of course they had issues with getting enough water there and keeping the trucks fueled up long enough, because it went from about 1 a.m. until into Christmas afternoon. And then just when they thought everything was out, they had one of these machines to lift the roof off, and they were lifting the roof or any part of the debris that was still standing and moving it to try to make sure that nothing would reignite. And ultimately it reignited twice, at least twice that I know of, and the fire companies had to go back out because there aren't many houses very close. The one family member lives next door, but far enough away at least that it wasn't in danger. Thankfully, it was wet. It had just rained, because all around the building are just big grass fields, and forests. So thankfully it was wet. None of the firefighters were badly injured fighting the fire. Anderson, so many firefighters sacrificed their Christmas plans to help keep things contained. Yes, most of them were there most of the Christmas day. A few of the cars that were in the building were saved. The firefighters, especially the cars that were in the showroom, the firefighters were able to get into the showroom and empty it. And like I said, that was the brick part of the building. As Andrew said, debris is still blowing to my brother's place up the hill. Charred pieces of paper, charred manuals and books, and all of that. Years and years of history, and like every single publication that was done, going back to when publications were all laid out by hand, all of that, those mock-ups and all of that is gone. It's really, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. Knowing what it was, and knowing the history and how long it's been there, and the source of friendship and, you know, camaraderie and income for a lot of people in the area who didn't otherwise, or weren't otherwise able to find work. It's sad. It's sad that it's not there anymore. Anderson's scary thing, what could have happened if they didn't get there when they did. Yeah, there were flames shooting 20, 30, 40 feet up into the air. Unfortunately, this is the really sad part. There were 2 shop cats in the back, and while we don't know that they passed in the fire, we don't have any evidence that they've gotten out or were able to get out, which is super sad because they were so sweet, and the owner had just gone in to feed them the day before, while everyone was on break. So I would love to think that they were able to escape and got out and are running around in the forest somewhere, and they will come back, but I don't know. Andrew says, for such a small town, it was definitely a major employer that provided people opportunities. Yeah, I talk about it like it's a small business, but it was a multi-million-dollar a year business. This is not like our bead store. This is a business that brought in millions of dollars a year to an area that generally does not have businesses like that. At one point, I think at its maximum, it employed 60 to 100 people, and it was a very big employer in the area. At one point, they had a Canadian division. At one point, they had a UK division. They had a Roadster Factory UK and a Roadster Factory Canada. And it employed even more people there. It had multiple body shops where cars could be repaired or engine blocks could be reworked. It still had a place inside where they custom made carpets for all of these cars. They had patterns. All of those patterns now are gone, which is something I hadn't even thought about, but I believe, unless they were kept off premises, which possibly they were, but most of those patterns are probably all gone now. It had its own wood shop, which I thought maybe that's where the fire started, since it's a wood shop. But the wood shop actually was one of the parts that was still fairly well intact, because the firefighters got to that part of the building first. But they designed their own dashboards and shift knobs for the cars. Those old cars had wooden dashboards. They produced their own there. Xander said they brought in lots of people for summer party. They have not done a summer party since the owner passed away, but the big parties used to bring in thousands of cars and thousands of people in those cars. And all of the neighboring towns got a little bit of that. People would eat at various little local restaurants around. They held the car show in Indiana, Pennsylvania, so all the people in Indiana, sometimes they held it there, sometimes they held it on premises. But it supported a lot of other places. So it's a big loss. It's a big loss. And now, even though it's much smaller now, it still supported a nice, staff. And we were a smaller staff, but also the cars, it's in less demand right now. So, but still brought in lots of money for the local economy, which was great, and helped a lot of people stay employed and find work. Andrew says, in a lot of ways, the idea of their community was what has inspired us in what we do too. Yeah, my boss who started that, well, he passed away. His son's my boss now, but my former boss who started the Roadster Factory, many of the ideas as far as community and, taking care of your customers, I grew up with that. And a lot of my thinking on how a small business should be came from him. And as much as sometimes we butted heads sometimes, and he was very set in his ways. But he had a lot of respect for his customers. He had a lot of respect for the product. He remanufactured many things for the cars when they weren't able to be found anymore, when parts were not able to be found. And he would not settle for anything less than exactly original. So if it were off by just a little bit, if the color green on the hose wasn't the right color green, if the patterning of the velvet wrap, if the velvet didn't have the right stitch or the patterning, it was sent back and they tried again. If the cloisonne didn't come out just perfectly right from the cloison, the only cloisonne small business in England, if it wasn't quite right, I mean, he partnered with people who did it right, and he partnered with vendors and with people who cared about quality. And so a lot of my thinking about small business and how it should be done came from him. And probably the reason that we have a small business, and that I pushed for us to have a small business when the opportunity arose, and my dream of having a small business was probably entirely from being around that place my whole life. So when I talk about how it's difficult and it's emotional, it's because that is the reason we have a small business. That is the reason I've wanted one from the time I can remember, because I grew up in one. It wasn't ours, but my whole family was there. So yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Anyway, I've been talking about that enough. Let's show you some kits, because I don't want to, y'all know what we're going through, right? Just like to give you, a little bit of extra why. So when, a lot of people look at it like, oh, so your job, like, I wish my job would burn down. Like, a lot of people are like that. This is not like that. This is a family that it used to be the home base of a very large and extended family, and that home base is no longer there. Andrew said, it's true. When we first came across the idea of having a shop, I said no. Yeah, Andrew said no. He did not want it. I wanted it. And I wanted it because I saw what you could do with a small business. And I saw how you could help people. I saw how you could you know, create meaning in a world. Yeah. And it's, you know, I say I work for a British car parts supplier, and people are just like, oh, you sell car parts. We sold more than car parts. You sold you sold a part of yourself, and you took care of people. You became friends with the customers. Cars, the old sports cars, if you're in that world, it's kind of like being in the bead world. The people who are in it are diehard fans of it. They stick with one another. They help one another. I mean, we're getting so many messages talking from customers, asking if they can help or what they can do, and these are people who have, some of them literally have been with the company for 40 some years. And, you know, that's what it was. It was a family. And whether that family was the employees or whether that family was the customers, everyone felt like they belonged. And that's, you know, like when we talk about the AG Bead fam, the AG Bead fam is another version of that. And the AG Bead fam wouldn't be the AG Bead fam if I didn't have that experience. You know, a lot of people just sell stuff to sell stuff, and they say things that are shallow, and, you know, there's not a lot of depth to anything. But that business and that place showed me to have depth, and it taught me to care for the customers because he cared for the customers so much. So anyway, before I get into all that, whew, Andrew said, I always thought we'd do it one day far off into the future. I didn't think we could do it. I thought we had to be more prepared, but sometimes you've got to leap and the net will appear. Andrew talks about this leaping thing. I was good at the beginning to leap. I'm not so great about leaping now, but we have no choice. So we're leaping. Leaping we shall do. All right. Anyway, before Andrew gets me onto another topic again, and I don't want to lose more people. We've had like 30 some people watching, up and down, up and down. Let's get to the kits before I totally fall apart, because I've been doing that off and on, and I'm trying not to here. All right, let me flip the camera. Uh-oh. Forgot to, on my side, it is still mirroring. Okay, there we go. That's the right way. All right. Hello, June. Thank you for tuning in. Harry had to step away. May I spanakopita? Roast chicken and Greek salad. That sounds good. Andrew said, it's understandable. I think with everything going on, we're just exhausted. I'm super exhausted. I don't know about anybody else. I am super duper exhausted. I also wanted to put this down. Maybe this will be good. I think it's going to help things not roll away. It may not be the best color, I don't know, but at least things won't roll away on me as much. Anyway, so this is NK1. If you'd like to purchase this, send us an email to info@allegorygallery.com with NK1 in the subject line. It is first come, first serve. This will be $20 for this kit. And let me just show you. Here's what I have in this kit. We have these, which Andrew, I might need your help in identifying all this because I pulled these from some of Andrew's stock and stuff. I want to say this might be serpentine, but I'm not 100% sure. So Andrew can help me in the comments there. But these are stone. And I think they're really pretty. They've got these really pretty kind of green and that kind of amber color to them. And I paired that with this strand of vintage check. I don't know, I feel like this color is really off. I'm gonna move this because I think this color is much, much better on here. There's our penny. This is NK1. I'll do kind of half and half here. I just think this green is and these colors are showing up better on the wood. And you get this toggle from the Allegory Gallery Fine Pewter collection. So that is in there. You're going to get these spiky vintage check. As Andrew said, these are my picks. Yes, as I said in the beginning, I put these together. And Andrew wasn't feeling well today, so I came through and put these together. Using things that I hope I didn't pick anything from Andrew's collection that I shouldn't have, but I tried to make limited kits, so I didn't pick any of the things that he might be more trying to work with. And then you get these, which they have a, you'll see they have a AB finish on the back, but it reflects through this side. And you get these. So that is NK1, $20. I think these are really, really pretty. I love the combination. I hate to talk about the things that I love or don't love about these because I did them, so it makes me feel weird. Because normally I'm talking about Andrew's stuff. I'm like, oh, I love that. Of course I'm going to love these. I put them together. So hopefully you love them too. This is NK1, $20. And again, these are inspiration kits. They're meant to inspire you, hopefully, to make things. They are not to make any particular one thing. All right. We don't usually do kits that make any specific thing, and I've not got any of those today. All right, so that's NK1. And please feel free to comment if you like these. Let us know. It's always good if y'all chat in the comments, so I know people are still, out there and still interested. Otherwise, I feel like I'm talking to myself. NK2. NK2. Oops. Sorry, I forgot this in that other one. NK2. So in NK2, you're going to get these drukes. Check glass. Marianne's listening. Thank you. And I love the patterning in these drukes. So you get those. And they almost have kind of a blue tinge on the edge, which I think is really cool. Andrew says, we're doing a lot of work behind the scenes too to hopefully survive whatever comes next. Yes. Do you have more light? I do not, but let me show you because I know you don't always get to see. It's messy, but I want you to see how many lights we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights. I don't think I can have more lights. I wish I could, but we have like 7 lights on everything right now. So that's as best as I can do, unfortunately. Danette says, I like these kits. They do inspire me. Good. That's what we want. That's what we want. All right. So you get that with this one. You get these. So just to show you those two, you get those two together. There you can see some of that more of that blue, almost like Picasso-y finish on those. And then you're going to get these, which are Tiger Eye. So there you go. Andrew said somebody's been asking him about if we're going to start a GoFundMe, but as he said, we often feel bad doing that because so many people have, helped us out, and we've asked for things over the years. And we always like to give you something. Like, we'd rather you just buy from the online store, grab something. Even if you're not a jewelry maker and you want to support us, feel free to purchase something and send it off to a friend or something like that. That's kind of the people we are. You get these little African beads, African glass with that. You also get these Tiger Eye. And you get these, which are, I think, a snakeskin jasper. Andrew can correct me if I'm wrong. I think they're a type of jasper. So you get that. Suzanne says, great kit. Thank you. I tried hard. Like, these are kind of things like I like. Agate. Oh, these are agates, not jaspers. Yeah, what did I say? Jasper? These are agates. You can see that through them. Of course they're agates. So I tried hard to make nice kits. I hope you like them all. Andrew says these have nice size holes too. They do. They do. Norma says, are there multiple kits for each lot? Yes, we have a limited number though. So very limited number. Mostly 2 to 3. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. But like I said, because Andrew wasn't here, I was trying to pull things. I didn't want to pull things that he had a lot of because he might be planning stuff for those. So I pulled like kind of things that were like 1Z, 2Z kind of thing. Well, 2Z, 3Z kind of things. So that I knew that there's probably less of a chance that he'd be using them for a bigger kit or a bigger splash of something later. So that's NK2. So if you do want multiples of the kit, you can send that in the email too. Sorry, I have things balancing precariously over here in some cases. NK3. I like this one. I like this one a lot. Okay, so NK3 is going to start with these. So you get that. Then you're going to get one of these. And then you're going to get one of these. These are different shapes, just so you can see the difference. And then you're going to get this big strand of this. This is an expensive strand here, but isn't it so much fun? Such a pretty strand. So I'm going to get those. And then you're going to get these. And I think these are glass. Pretty sure these are glass. You can get those. Then you're going to get a piece of this labradorite. I did rate a little bit of the stones. Piece of labradorite. And you're going to get these 2 pieces of labradorite. Faceted coins. And the holes go through that way. There you go. All right. So that's that kit. Andrew said those are vintage check. NK3, $24. I think that's well worth it. Like I said, I tried to price these well for y'all. Like I said, this strand is quite expensive. And even though the elaborates are small, they're very nice quality stones. Very nice quality stones. Like I said, I did not have Andrew's input on these kits, so hopefully, I know you all are used to his kits, and y'all generally like his kits a lot. Hopefully, you like these that I made myself today, when Andrew was home not feeling well today. There's a lot going on. Thank you to all of you who are joining us. We have like 30 some people, not including Instagram, watching. We appreciate it. If you're out there on Instagram and you're asking questions, hopefully Andrew's taking a look at that once in a while, because I can't see it. It's across the room. All right, this is NK4, and it starts with this strand, this nice chocolatey strand of vintage Czech glass. And then you're going to get this. Andrew says, when I remember. I'll keep trying to spike your memory there. You get this ambery, beautiful, faceted round Czech glass strand. These are all vintage Czech. You get this really beautiful kind of knot design vintage Czech that has that AB finish on it. I don't know if I'd say that's AB. It's more of like a blue gold finish. So this is, just so you can see, NK4. Michelle says NK3 is a great kit. Thank you. Susie says these are awesome. Thank you. And then in addition to that, I threw in some of these vintage Czech kind of animal stripe pieces. And then I think, I want to say, I don't know what stone this is. I want to say it's ruby and zoisite, because there's a little bit of red going through it. But Andrew can tell me if he remembers what these are. Because I pulled these from his stash. He might remember. But they have a little bit of red, and I think they're ruby and zoisite. You can see that red kind of going through there. And then you're going to get one of these. Tiger Eye. These are Tiger Eye coins. And the hole is there, through there that way. And then you're going to get this red Tiger Eye. And I kind of felt like the reddish came pulled together with this, and some of the reddish colors in here, or the browns. So I just thought that was a kind of nice kit. Andrew says, I can't tell, it might be tourmaline. Maybe. I don't know what stone it is. I think it's ruby and zoisite, but it's a very dark zoisite if that's what it is. Normally it's more greenish than that, but I mean, I think it works all well together. It is a natural stone of some sort. A natural stone of some sort. There you go. Oh, Marianne lost us for a bit. What happened? Anyone else losing us for a little bit? We did drop a number of people, so I'm wondering if something did happen. So that's NK4, only $24 for all of that, which those vintage Czech strands, some of those big ones, that's pretty much that in itself. It almost looks like Eagle Eye. Yeah, Eagle Eye doesn't, it is definitely more green than Eagle Eye, and Eagle Eye generally doesn't have the red. I think it's ruby and zoisite, but or ruby and something. Annette says, I didn't lose you, still here. It's definitely not just a jasper, Michelle. It's definitely something else. Oh, it was your Wi-Fi. Okay. Then the other people are just dropping. Maybe they don't like my kits. Sorry. Okay. This one starts with this, which I think is tiger iron, I want to say. But I want you to see how beautiful this is. It might be ruby and fuchsite, Suzanne. You might be right. Because it looks darker to me than zoisite, and I think fuchsite, I don't know. Andrew said bronzite. Okay, so it's bronzite, not tiger iron. Bronzite, and it just is really pretty. So you're going to get one of those. You're going to get these little fun acrylics, vintage plastics, maybe vintage lucite. So you're going to get that. You're going to get pulled in these drooks. Added these drooks to that kit. I think these are the same ones as we saw in the other kit. Andrew says, we did have a ruby and zoisite where there was more black than that green. That might be it then. So this is NK5. You're going to get those. Then I put these in here. These are vintage Chinese ceramic. Vintage Chinese ceramic. Marian says, such temptations, but I must only ask for one just now. I get it. I get it. I'm going to get these. And I think these are Monique, if I'm not mistaken. Andrew will tell me if I am. So you get those. And then for a color boost, I added kind of this bright yellow nuggety goodness with an AB finish. I just like that with it for some reason. And then you're going to get these little petal beads from the Allegory Gallery Fine Pewter Collection. And these are little petals. And we have more of these if you'd like to purchase extras in all three finishes, either the antique gold like these, or the antique silver, or antique copper. And if you look up petal in the online store, you'll see those pop up. So that's NK5, $20, which I think is a nice mix, mishmash kind of, but a nice mix of yellows and browns. And I tried to include these to pull out some of that blue AB in here. I don't know. I hope it works. I hope you like it. Cheryl seems to like it. She says, ooh, so I'm glad. That's NK5, $20. And remember, there's only 2, 3, 4 of each one of these kits. So if you see something you like and you're able to grab it, we appreciate that. And we hope you'll send us an email to claim those. First come, first serve on all of these. Andrew says, we had hoped to really ramp up the AG Fine Pewter line in 2024, but now we got to play it by ear. Yes, definitely playing that one by ear. Kit number 5 is my favorite, says Ann. Did I say that? I really like that one a lot. When I was putting it together, you know, sometimes my color combos are a little bit weird. I'm like, do I really want to put this bright yellow in with these? But then I think it pulls everything together with these acrylics and things. I hope. Teresa loved 5. Thank you. NK6. This is a fun one too. I think it kind of put me in the mood for spring. It starts with these beautiful bright green with kind of a blue purple. It's an AB reflection, AB finish. You have those beautiful purples, which you're going to see. I used a lot of that purple idea. So you start out with those, and then Marion says NK5 is a gorgeous kit. Thank you. And then we get these little, I don't know what you call it. They're kind of like drukes, but they're off. The holes go through like that. And they have an AB finish on them as well. So you get those. And then I brought in 2 of these nice gem quality labradorite beads that have beautiful flash to them. Trying to get that one to flash. Tried to make sure, there it is. I tried to make sure they all flash nice. So you get those. Those are faceted rounds. And then, of course, I had a few more of these that I found, and I brought those into this kit as well. These are the crystal that we saw in, I think, the first kit. Some of the other kits. They have that beautiful green flash in there. Mostly green anyway. They have other colors in there too, but I like that green flash with that. And then we have the foil glass in this lovely bright green color. So beautiful. I think this is Venetian foil glass. It's either Venetian or Indian. Andrew can let me know maybe in the comments if he remembers. Either way, it's stunning, I think. And then we threw in some of these purple tubes. These are vintage Czech. Okay, so he said it is Venetian. That's Venetian foil glass. And you get 4 of these purple tubes. There. And you get 2 of these green, tealy green tubes. They're actually, these ones are hexagons. Is that right? Hexagons? So you get those. And then, these are so pretty. You get 2 of these, I think mother of pearl, I want to say, mother of pearl beads. And they're drilled lengthwise there. So you get 2 of those. And then pentagons, thank you. Penta, 5. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you get 2 lengthwise as well. Abalone. Sorry, abalone. Andrew corrected me. Thank you, Andrew. Abalone beads. So that's NK6. Boy, I priced that one low. $20. Julie says, "Oh my beautiful kit, thank you." $20 only. That one should have been a little higher. But we'll leave it there. Not going to change it on you now, right? So hopefully you like that kit. Julie says, very generous selection. Thank you. I tried to be generous. We always try as much as we can, you know, even though we're like, we need to sell stuff. We still try and, you know, always treat you all right. Facebook user says the kits could be used as inspiration and pieces in the current design challenge, the design competition. Absolutely, they can. And I don't know who you are, you're coming up as Facebook user, but you are 100% correct. Any of these could be used that way, and we hope to see some of these used for that purpose. All right, this kit is fun too, I think. NK7. It's going to start with these beautiful multicolored little drops of goodness. Like, if that doesn't make you swoon, I don't know what does. Julie says it's not easy to put together kits. No, it's not. It took me hours just to do these 9 kits, just so y'all know. And we have, I mean, we have walls of stuff, and kind of some of it's easier to see, and it's still a difficult thing to put these together. So I hope they're good. I hope this is really my first time putting kits together by myself for the most part. I sometimes help Andrew, but normally he's the one putting the kits together, but he was not feeling good. He was a little bit nauseous today and headachy. So I did these myself. So I hope you like them. If they look different to you than are normal, that's why. And I hope you still like them. You also get this little strand of vintage check. These are both vintage check, by the way. We did lots of vintage check buyouts, so we have lots of good things. Julie says, you're doing a great job. Thank you. And you're going to get this one, which is this coppery bicone. So you get that. You're also going to get a smaller version of that. In there. And then we're going to pull out some brighter colors here. So you're going to get these glass pearl in this beautiful bright copper color. Let me spread this out so we get those in there and they don't roll away. Here we go. Michelle's loving NK7. Thank you. And then you get some of these copper balls. Andrew says, I think some people think it's so easy, but it's actually very tricky. Not only do you have to coordinate colors and materials, but you have to consider cost and quantity too. Marianne loves the copper bicones. Thank you. Susan says, great kit 7. Thank you. So you get these with it. You're also going to get one of these big ones. This brushed copper. So you get that. And then you have a little bag of these bead caps. And I like these with these, just to show you if I can do this real quick, what these could look like on there, like that. Right, these little bead caps. I figure maybe use those, tie in some of that metallic color. And then you're going to get an AG Fine Pewter bird in flight, and through an AG Fine Pewter lovebird pendant. So you get both of those. Julie says, bead caps, a big yes, right? And these are little bead caps. They're hard to find little bead caps sometimes, I feel like. So that's NK7, $22. Michelle says, great kit, NK7. Thank you. I'm glad you're liking these. Only got 2 more to go, and then the surprise of the evening is coming up. I mean, the kits are all kind of a surprise to you too, because you don't know what they're going to be like. But I haven't even said what the surprise is, other than it might tie into the, if you want it to the design competition. Danette says the brushed copper is so neat. I love those brushed copper ones. Love, love, love those. And remember, there's only 2 or 3 of each kit generally, so I used the onesie, twosie, threesie, twosie, threesie actually, sometimes 4Z beads, so that I didn't get too deep into Andrew's collection without him being here. It's okay if he authorizes it, but when he can't be here, I try to be good. Amy's here, says, a new pendant. Not quite. Not quite. And welcome, Amy. Thanks for joining us. All right. So NK8 starts with this smaller strand of vintage check and faceted rounds. Nice bright green color, I think. And I had this in my brain that I wanted to do green with some pink or peach fuzz, right? How about peach fuzz? Kind of the color we're going for this year coming, right? So you get this strand, and these are faceted rounds as well in this peach fuzz color. And then we have these. I believe, I want to say, if I remember correctly, these are Egyptian crystal in that peach fuzz color. So Egyptian crystal. Pretty sure. Andrew can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think it's S word. I think these are Egyptian. Yep, Andrew says they are. So you get the Egyptian crystal drops, which are very nice. Very, very, very nice. Great quality in those. And then you're going to get an assortment of these. I think there are 8 of them here. Mary says, all the kits could be a big yes except this one. I know you don't like that peachy pink color. And these have the kind of coppery back to make the reflection on the inside. So you get those. And these, I like the cut of these. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of just an odd cut. They are drilled that way. Okay, so you're going to get 8 of those. And then we have these. And I don't know what kind of glass this is necessarily, but it's got that beautiful kind of coppery sparkle and then all different colors in there. So there's some of the green, which is like the green there. That's to pull in some of the green, but there's also some ambers and some blue. So you can mix and match these with a lot of different things, even if you don't use them with the kit. And I just love those. Andrew says, a lot of people don't think of Egypt as a place to get crystal, but if you think about it, they have centuries of experience working with glass-making perfume bottles. So these, Andrew said, are vintage Indian based off of old Venetian. So that's what those are. And then these are carved stone. Carved stone. And I just felt like there needed to be something a little bit more grounding in the kit. So I put these dark stone. I don't know if they quite go, but I felt like it needed something a little darker. And then to pull everything together, you get this little bag of these seed beads. These are vintage seed beads. And they have that kind of green, they have a little bit of that pink reflection to them, they have a little bit of that dark color to them, and I thought that just kind of rounded off the kit really well. So there you go, NK8, $26. These, it's more expensive mostly because of these. The sea beads are actually a little bit more expensive. And then you got some of these, just some odd things in there. Michelle says, beautiful NK8. Thank you. I do hope you're all liking these. This is, like I said, my first foray into making the kits myself, so I wasn't sure how they'd be received. Thank you for all the people watching tonight. We appreciate you. And hopefully you're enjoying the show. I know it's a little bit sad at the beginning. I'm trying not to bring everyone down too much. And then this is the one, I have the fewest amount of these. And since I'm with Marianne, all the kits are beautiful, even like the peachy pink. Thank you. This is the kit that kind of came together for me really quickly, but I didn't have many components. Like, I had some things sitting around and I was like, oh, that goes with that. Oh, that goes with that. So, Suzanne says, I think I hit the angry face by accident. That's okay. That happens. That happens. Andrew says, you did a good job. You should make more all the time. Now, I don't know about that. We'll see. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of brain power that goes. I'm like brain dead now. Andrew's like, I know, right? So you start with this one for NK9. Beautiful little vintage check. Oops. And then I added these. Marion says at least it is a peachy pink, right? So then you get these. These are slightly different than the other ones. They don't have that, these are more, they don't have that patterning to them. More one color with that AB finish. And then I pulled these, which I really, really love. So you get those. And then you're going to get 2 of these. And 2 of these. Amy says decision fatigue. Making the kits, or it's definitely decision fatigue making the kits, that's for sure. And then you're going to get 2 of these very nice quality tiger eye ovals. They have very nice flash to them. Or chatoyance, I guess, right? And then you're going to get the Allegory Gallery fine pewter toggle in the antique gold color. This is the swirl toggle. And then you're going to get the tiger eye. Get a strand of the tiger eye. Those are little rounds, tiger eye rounds. And then you're going to get these, which are the vintage Chinese ceramic beads, because I wanted something a little bit lighter in there. It was getting very dark. So I added that to lighten it up just a little bit. Just a little bit. So that's NK9, $24. There are only 2 of these available. Only 2 kits. So we'll see. We'll see if you like that one or not. See if you like that one or not. Susie really likes the kit. Trudy says very cool. Thank you so much. And that's the end of the kits for tonight. Now the surprise is coming up. Teresa's chose 3 kits so far. So beautiful. Thank you. We appreciate that. We really appreciate the support, y'all. We're going to be needing it now more than ever until we figure out what is happening and what is going on. Suzanne's is excellent kits. Thank you. Marianne's is great job, William. Thank you. Michelle's favorite is NK7. Which one was that? Oh, that coppery one. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Now, I'm going to use the penny here. I don't know if I want that, but maybe I do want that. We'll see. All right. So Over the years, our wooden pendants have been a pretty good, people like them. People like them. But over the years, and even most recently, I think it was Danette, people have asked for smaller charms. And so I decided to give some things a try, because sometimes when you make things smaller, it doesn't work. Sometimes there's a little bit of reworking you have to do and a little bit of, changing things up. But I think we came up with a pretty good set of minis. So these are mini seahorses that are great if you want to use them as a charm or for earrings. These are not in the online store yet. They will be in the online store. I'm hoping to get them in tonight. And I have to figure out, I have to work out the calculation for the price on these. So Danette says, I did ask for smaller wooden charms, right? Suzanne loving them. Anne says, so flippin' cute, right? Now, the thing with these, the holes are smaller. And you do have to be careful with them, because to get the holes in here still at a big enough size, that's a challenge. That they're not necessarily brittle or anything like that. Just be careful when you use these with a jump ring. Use small gauge jump rings and treat them like, a piece of wood, because I put jump rings through all of these. They held up fine for me. You don't want to get crazy with them, but for something like earrings, it's not going to get a lot of, banging around. I don't know, the seahorse's little snout there, whatever they call them. You may not want that as a charm. I don't know, but that's up to you. They are pretty, they're not, it's not like, I can put some force on that, and they're not super delicate. Like normal everyday use, I don't think you're gonna have any problem. We wouldn't sell it if we thought it was gonna be a problem. If you get crazy with them, of course, they're wood. That's gonna happen. But we continue to use the thicker wood, so that it would, because we can go thinner, but I didn't want to go thinner. So we're using the thicker wood, which gives you still some body to these. And they are going to come in the maple, in the cherry, and in the walnut. So they're going to be good. I think you're going to like them. They're going to be great for earrings and little charms. But that's not all. That's not all, y'all. We also decided to do the octopus. So the octopus comes, they're all going to come in the three woods. This is the maple, the cherry, and the walnut. That's generally what we sell our pendants in, our wooden pendants. These are all Andrew's designs, by the way. If you don't know what our wooden pendants are, if you're new to us, these are all designed by Andrew. He designs them in his idea book, like the physical book, not a digital book. He doesn't digitally draw. They are all hand drawn, and then we digitize the files, and then we work them up to work on the laser, and work them up to work at this specific size too. So you have these, and I tested these to make sure that the hole, because it looks like it's close and it's thin up there, but this is actually pretty strong up there, pretty strong. As Andrew says, when they are shrunk, some of the detail is lost, but it's still pretty good. Yeah, I think there's a lot of detail in these, even though they're tiny. So we ran a number of different ones, and I've picked the ones that came out, I think, the best. So these are the tiny, they're all about an inch tall. I set them to about an inch. So that's Those are those. But wait, everybody. That's not all. That's not all. We did a few more. We did the sea turtles. And I was really surprised. I thought we were going to do this one and the detail was going to be completely lost in these. But it actually, I think, came out really nicely for the detail. So check those out. Maple, cherry, walnut. They will be available in the online store in all three woods. All right. And if you don't know, if you're saying, I love these, but I wish they were bigger, we do have them in the online store. We have all of these available right now in their larger size for pendant size. All right. Now, that's not all. Still not all. We also did the Hamsa. The Hamsa. Now the Hamsa has a really large hole. We were able to get the larger hole in that. And so your gauge of jump ring is not going to have to be as small as it will have to be for some of these. But the Hamsa is done in the maple, in the cherry, and in the walnut as well. And I think it's really nicely detailed. Came out really nice. And I hope we're going to see a lot of people having fun with these, making earrings and using them as charms. And yes, these will be eligible to enter the design competition if you use these. So if you want to use a pendant, like the large seahorse pendant, part of your three-piece set in a necklace, and then you want to get the smaller ones for earrings, and then maybe a small one for a charm on a bracelet, and make your three-piece set out of all of those like that. I think that would be really nice too, but you will have the option to do that if you'd like. And then the last mini that we made is the jackalope. The jackalope, that's the last mini. And maple, cherry, walnut. I think he's so cute. I had to do him too. All right. So we may come out with more of these over time if these prove popular, if people like them. Do y'all like them? What do you think? What do y'all think of those? Aren't they super dang charming? I think so. I kind of have to say that, but I don't have to say that. And I still think they're super charming. So hopefully you like these. Hopefully you all get some use out of these. We're going to try and price them well for you all. And we also do, I want to say, we do wholesale our wooden pendants. If you are a designer that requires a bit bigger quantity of them, we do wholesale as well. So if you're interested in that, you can write to us, email us, and we can discuss the wholesale pricing and all that and the quantities necessary. But we're happy to do that. Or if you're a store and you want to sell these in your store, these are all our designs. So you should not see these anywhere else. Andrew hand created each design himself. We sell to stores with our wooden pendants often, and these minis will be part of that collection as well, is that wholesalable collection. All right. So that is the surprise at the end. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy these. I can't wait to see what y'all do with these. And remember, you can surface treat these just like any of our other wooden pendants. So any of Andrew's surface treating videos, you can apply those techniques to these. Although they will be much smaller, you can still do that. All right. Okay, let me flip the camera around here real quick to say a quick adios. And oh, there we go. All right, y'all. So Thank you so much for joining in with us. Donna says I missed a lot. Yeah, you tuned in toward the end, Donna. But thank you for tuning in, and you can always do a rewatch. We talked about some very sad things in the beginning, some things that are going to make things very pressured for us, and some things that are a little bit emotional for me right now. But sometimes we have that. Life deals those things to us all once in a while. So thank you for hanging out with us, for letting me talk and just jibber jabber on a little bit. Andrew and I oftentimes just talk to each other most of the time because we're so busy working. We don't get out a lot. So we're very thankful that you let us do this sometimes. And even though I almost broke down a number of times, I held it together. As Andrew said, you held up good, all things considered. Yeah, like I know my eyes are very red and puffy from I broke down just before the video. I was like, okay, one last time, and then we're gonna do the video, and we're gonna get through the video. So yes, I'm trying to get through the video. Danette says the kits and small wooden pendants are wonderful. Just take a step back and breathe. I wish we could. There's not much time to take a step back and breathe. Yeah, there's not a lot of time. It's easy to wish for, and I wish we were able to do that. But the reality of the situation is that this was a terrible year, and things are hard. Things are hard. Michelle says it's great to vent to your partner and friends. Yes, and we do consider you all friends out there, and we really do appreciate you. Andrew wrote on his posts some other things about things we're planning. It's very possible that our store will be moving. It's very probable that our store will be moving sometime in the new year. So that's a thing. And we'll see how that goes, and we'll see where that goes. But we have to cut back somewhere. And it's the first step. Doing that is the first step that we can take before a much more drastic second step, which would be to close the physical store entirely. And we hope it doesn't come to that, but that is a very real possibility that may happen in the future. So we're trying to do everything we can to keep that going and not have to do that. But we know no matter what, you all are out there, and we have our online AG Bead fam all over the world, and we do appreciate you. And whether we have a physical store in a town local to us or just an online store, we appreciate everybody who decides to shop with us and support us. And Andrew's saying everyone send positive vibes for my doctor appointment tomorrow. Yes, please. Although that right now, kind of the least of my worries, kind of at the moment, because I've been feeling pretty okay. But I am going to get a checkup, possible EKG again, and all that. I don't know what they're planning, to see if I am staying on my medicine, if I can come off of my medicine. I don't know. But that's like something I haven't even barely thought about today, but it is something I have to do tomorrow. So I think Andrew's going to be in the physical shop for us tomorrow until I get back from my doctor's appointment. And I have to get blood work done and all that. So yeah, Andrew's going to be in the store. So if you're local and you want to hang out with Andrew, he should be there for at least the first part of the day. All right. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out. Like I said, thank you for putting up with us. I know we share a lot. Sometimes we overshare probably, but that's who we are. And we thank you for being part of the AG Bead fam. We are doing our best to keep everything going. And, come back stronger than ever, hopefully, from all of this stuff happening. All right. Thank you so much for your support. We love you all. And we will see you back here most likely tomorrow. All right? Bye now.